Hey, everybody. It's Dan coming to you live once again from Japan. And it only took a really quick 14 and a half hour flight to get back here. That was fun. Well, at least, I got to fly business class this time and didn't have to stay and coach with all the prisoners in the back with the non-reclining seats and eating, well, still ate airplane food, but it was better airplane food. It was, they took a longer defeated this time. So, yeah, it was fun. Fun. I'm being sarcastic. It wasn't fun. 14 and a half hours on a plane is never fun. Go and where we see things going and just kind of really help just visualize things better because, doing it remote, even though it is the 21st century and everything is on Slack and on Zoom and whatever, Google Meet, still human interaction, you can't substitute that. Well, for most people, some people can, but not for me. So it was really good to see Alex and to see Charles as well, because actually I haven't seen Charles in person for probably 2.5 years now. And this is a big change because it would seem quite often back before the pandemic. So this was really, really good. And so let me bring up my notes. So basically, what did we do? Well, first of all, I did a couple of conventions, a couple of summits where I got to talk about Cardano and Ergo, and especially Ergo, and really got a lot of people just genuinely interested in what Ergo is all about. As you probably understand, Ergo is not as popular as, say, Cardano, any top 10 blockchain. But you would be surprised how many people actually are really aware of the project. I was really pleasantly surprised. There's a lot of interest. There's some information gaps, of course, about what the project is about, what are the pros and cons, and what we're doing. But in general, I was really pleasantly surprised about how many people out there really knew the project and who actually followed the project. There's quite a few people from the Cardano side, as you know, and from Input Output that follow the project. And so what I spoke, so my intention over in Dubai as far as Ergo, and basically my whole trip as far as Ergo was adoption, commercial adoption, and strategic adoption. And so as far as strategic and as far as as far as investment into Ergo, I have spoken to several family offices in Dubai, from all over the place, from the UK, from Morocco, from Dubai itself, and who are very interested in investing in projects in Ergo. Now, how do we structure that? Well, that's something that we really need to work out. This is something that I was talking about before in previous AMAs. What I would like to do is I would like to work with the community and work with our Ergonauts to put together a investment vehicle for these entities that really do want to invest in projects in Ergo. I mean, whether it be with ErgoPad or with some other entity within the ecosystem. Maybe we create something separate where something along the lines of CFON, but for Ergo. So we still need to structure it, but there is quite a bit of interest, major investments that we can potentially see enter the ecosystem. So really good about that, because this is something that I've been fighting for. This is something that I believe is very important for our ecosystem. It is to get outside money in investing in the commercial side of Ergo to get us mass adoption. So the next item that I was concentrating on is to really get our liquidity and volume up. And so obviously there are several different ways of doing it. We're doing it already with Chiron Labs. However, what I did was I spoke to several, and I mentioned this in my previous recorded AMA segments that I did for the past couple of weeks. I spoke to several major liquidity providers who at first actually weren't sure about Ergo and weren't sure about the significance of the project. But after having an opportunity to really, again, meet face to face, because that's what I do. I am good at speaking to people face to face, connecting, understanding what people need, what investors need to really feel comfortable and feel optimistic about entering the ecosystem. And I had that opportunity in Dubai, and so I spoke to several liquidity providers that are interested in injecting liquidity into the Ergo ecosystem. Now, again, how is that done? We have to out several different ways. There's some vehicles that could potentially work. And so there's more standard vehicles of where they basically, purchase ERG and then provide liquidity for exchanges. There's also other ways of investing in projects on Ergo and getting tokens from those projects, and then again, presenting them for liquidity on DEXs. So it all depends on specifics of the individual investor and the individual liquidity provider. But in general, this is something that is very healthy for the ecosystem, and I believe that this will also kind of help us move things along and expand. So another very exciting piece of business that I did over there. And so that brings me to my next point, which is the ecosystem fund. And again, I have been where we have been actually working continuously on getting an ecosystem fund together. And my trip to Dubai actually helped really step this thing up. So there is a major ecosystem creator, that ecosystem fund creator that is basically, I mean, we have to work it out, but is looks like they're on board and create ecosystem fund with us. I want us to see the structure similarly to the to other ecosystem funds out there like Algorand, like Cardano, to really give our ecosystem a boost and really incentive for more big projects to get bigger, for the current projects to get bigger, and for more projects to enter the ecosystem, for other projects to switch over from other competing ecosystems. And so I think that the creation of the fund would help tremendously to kind of take us to the next level. So this is really exciting news, because up to now, I've been talking to contacts, but it wasn't anything really solid where they're like, okay, let's do it. In this particular case, it's something where they're like, yeah, okay, let's work it out. Let's make it happen. So I will have more information about this as it progresses, but this is actively being done right now, and I am very excited about this. Actually, I got a couple of guests here. Hey, kitties, hey, get over here. Leo, come on. Leo is here, and he's made a lot of noise. Come here, Leo. Come on. So you guys haven't seen Leo, and he actually hasn't seen me for quite a while now. So now he's kind of cautious, but here he is. Come on, Leo. Oh my God, that weighs a ton. Here he is. Say hi to everyone, Leo. Let go of my jeans. Let go. Come on. Let go. All right. Here. Okay. Say hi to everyone. This is Leo. Hey, everybody. What was on, but now he's back. So now he gets to screw around in my workroom and make noise and step on stuff and tear up my clothes. But that's what is great about having cats. So I'm just going to put him on my lap like Dr. Evil. And I'm going to say, hey, no, that's excellent. That's Mr. Burns. Never mind. Mr. Powers. Yes. Anyway, let's move on. Leo is ready. So the next item that I worked on has been something that actually we discussed, and we actually discussed in the episode of Ergo poll that we did with Charles. Bin, hey, get out of there. I have another cat right here, and she's just going crazy. We discussed this with Charles, and really it's about cooperation between Cardano input output, and Ergo. And so what we actually did was we did some brainstorming and discussed how and development on maybe Hydra, rapid smart contract prototyping, maybe working on side chains. Again, very many different verticals that kind of emerged from these discussions. And so we'll be speaking to the team. Alex and I and Joe will be speaking to the team and really kind of solidifying our lowest hanging fruit. And then we will let it be known what it is that we have come up with. But long story short, and bottom line here is that there is a lot of development here. There are a lot of synergies. I'm very happy to have seen these be confirmed, and I really think that in the coming months we'll be working on something really, really cool. So the next item that I'm sure that some of you who follow me on social media have seen is our visit to the Ukrainian border. And this is something that I wanted to touch on because I know you've seen this. There, of course, there are various standpoints out there for people about the conflict, the war. And one thing I don't want to do is bring the ecosystem in any kind of political discussion over this. This is politics aside. This is a politically neutral stance that I'm taking right now about what I'm speaking about. Of course, personally, I have my opinions, but that does not translate to our community because we do have Russians, we have Ukrainians, and again, politics is not what I want to have. I don't want politics to dominate our efforts. However, what I did get to see is the humanitarian crisis that is happening on the border. It's heartbreaking. I mean, I don't know what to say about that. Really, it's just heartbreaking to see families torn apart, for refugees, for kids to be separated from their parents, and kind of having to go through all of this. And of course, we saw families that already made it to, I guess, a safe zone in Poland, but there are many, many families that are still over there in Lviv and in other regions of Ukraine. And so what I would like to do is, what we did with Input Output and with Charles is we went to that area and really wanted to understand what is happening as far as the humanitarian aid that is being supplied to these refugees. And first thing I got to tell you is that there's amazing people that are working there. Is just the kindness that I saw come from these people is just truly touching. And our objective was, first of all, to understand the situation on the ground, and to also see how we can help the humanitarian crisis. And so what we were doing is we're actually vetting several charities and humanitarian aid groups that are working in the region and working with the refugees to help, and to see what would be the best way to and how we can help as far as finances, as far as technology, to make their missions easier. And so what I would like to really do is to work with Input Output to really see which of these charities, because there's also a lot of there's a lot of swindling going on as well. It's that type of situation where you will have legitimate charities out there helping people out, and then you'll have fakes, and you think you know who to trust, but sometimes it might not be their intention not to deliver on a promise. Might be just because they had the intention and they got sidetracked. It's not always malicious, but you want to make sure that if you are helping a charity, if you are helping a humanitarian aid group, that the money that is being given to the group is used in a way that it was intended. And so this is the vetting that we're doing right now at input output. And this is also something that I would like to see Ergo be involved in. Now, again, this is obviously going to be up to the foundation, and this is going to be up to the community. But I would like to see us connect with these after these charities are vetted, and after we find out which ones are the most impactful ones for Ergo to also be involved in helping these charities do their work. So again, this is in early stages right now. We're still vetting the charities at input output, and once they are the ones that we have found the most effective ones, I will share them, and we will work together to see how we can best help from the Ergo end, and as far as and as well as the input output side and Cardano side. So yeah, and so moving on to last item on my list is exchange listings. Again, we are actively working on our tier exchange listings. It's the integration is in progress, and I also got some really good connections for other tier one exchange listings at one of the summits that I was at. So after we get listed on our first tier one, that will actually open up a door for us to get listed on other tier one exchanges, which I made connections with. So I think that this is going to be really good for us, and it's going to have a cascading effect on the ecosystem. So basically, once we get one, we'll get another one, another one, another one. It's just we need to get that first one sorted out, on there, launched, and then other ones will follow. And I already have a very solid lead on making that happen. All right, guys. So this is it from my end, and I will hand it over to Alex for his updates.
Hello, everyone. My pleasure to be here online again. Yeah, a lot of news. Oh, sorry,
Alex, you're muted.
Yeah, I was muted off. Yeah, hello everyone. Again, my pleasure to be here online. Yeah, a lot of news since my last appearance, and yeah, even for the past week. So a lot of news. Yeah, let's start with well, the most awaited one. So first of all, Ledger bug, well, a developer from outsourcing company worked on finally resolved. So we are back on integration with wallets. Let's see, probably Nautilus will be the first wallet with Ledger support. So yeah, we are doing integration and testing there. Yeah, finally now stuck in development because of that bug. Yeah, in regards with exchanges, so for one exchange, at least there is notable technical progress. So they made successfully transactions on the testnet. They tested deposits on the mainnet. Yeah, currently they're integrating Ergo into the backend. That means that yeah, announcement is coming, right? Because technically, well, major steps are done. All right. So what's also done in recent days? So DICO is starting to publish the courses on UTXO model. Its implementation in Ergo, Ergo script, developing contracts in Ergo, and so on. Yeah, we will provide links somehow, maybe under this video. All right, so also there are some new interesting tools for developers from Captain Nemo, Nautilus wallet developer. Yeah, also ErgoPad team. ErgoPad team, for example, is now working on a tool which allows for describing both on-chain and off-chain logic for DApps. So it's pretty similar, maybe in some aspects, with Ergo headless DApp framework. But it's in Python, and yeah, it's in active development phase, and yeah, hopefully it will be stronger than the headless DApp framework. All right, in regards with nodes development, yeah, new version was released like 10 days ago, and yeah, we have already enough pull requests for next 2 or 3 releases. So next one is now finalized, and yeah, will be released in next few days. So it will be about a lot of optimizations in bootstrapping. So yeah, finally, bootstrapping wouldn't be a problem anymore for some environments where it's causing memory exhaustion problems. All right, and then yeah, in regards with EEP 27, so as you know, there was successful testnet activation. So currently I'm working for nodes for the mining pools, and then yeah, after some consultations with mining pools, we will set mainnet activation height, and then yeah, it will be another final wording for the mainnet activation. Right, so details are coming in next few days. All right, so there are some progress about bridges. Well, maybe it's better to announce them during the next AMA. Then, yeah, new mixing scheme. So there is progress in research about it. Soon there will be a forum post about that. What else? Yeah, so for applications and DeFi space around Ergo, so I guess yeah, it will be a separate video, based on the last devs chat happened on Wednesday. So yeah, stay tuned. Yeah, in regards with development, things are going very well, I guess, and yeah, after EP 27 finalization, I will make a forum post or maybe a video on nodes development plans. So bootstrapping with UTXO set snapshot and Nipapos. So a lot of functionalities already done actually, and yeah, we just need now to consider a roadmap and to finalize those new waves of bootstrapping with yeah, security guarantees basically the same as you have now with the full nodes, but yeah, those new ways to bootstrap the nodes are much more efficient. That's it. Yeah, let's go to the questions now.
All right, thanks, Alex. Yeah, so let's go to the questions. And let's see. Okay. So actually, it's a good question for Alex, since you just got telling us all these wonderful updates. So the question is, which future Ergo development are you personally the most excited about, Alex?
Which feature?
So which future Ergo development are you personally the most excited about?
I don't know. So, the most exciting thing is that I'm not even following everything happening in the space anymore, right? So, yeah, I'm not covered even some things right now, like Ergoland's beta testing and so on. So, yeah, in coming days, I'm going to try Ergoland's beta over the weekend, and yeah, then we have night owl and so on, right? Yeah, still I need to check ergo pads. So yeah, I did security audit for vesting as second contracts, but yeah, still I need to check how things are looking in regards with UI and so on. So yeah, in the first place, I need to catch up with the state of the ecosystem. Right, and yeah, it's good that it's been developed so actively, and yeah, I think soon, yeah, as we have kind of accumulating effect here, right? So we'll see more and more projects on top of what I'm willing to see is some maybe projects which are truly unique, right, for Ergo. So utilizing Sigma protocols, well, aside of the Ergo mixer and yeah, stealth addresses support for them are going into Ergo mixer as well. So I believe UTXO maybe is specifically good for some DeFi constructions which are not discovered yet. So maybe it would be good to have another community chat on that maybe next Thursday. Let's see. So first two chats on state of DeFi on top of Ergo were amazing. So yeah, maybe I can do some write up before the next chat, hopefully. All right.
All right, great. So so there is a question for the both of us, actually. And so, I mean, this is not directly about Ergo, but it's a question. Well, I guess what you know, a lot of people are wondering is, what do you guys think that makes Bitcoin so stable, and could we ever reach that stability? Well, I mean, I'll start with my answer, and then Alex, maybe you can chime in. Own it. That it's difficult for one or two entities to have a major impact on it, you know, unless something that's nationwide, like you would with a more traditional asset, you know, like say if somebody like a country or something like China passes a law that prohibits it's a diverse portfolio of owners. And so for us to reach that kind of stability, again, we need to reach that kind of volume. We need to reach a wider adoption of it, and a wider adoption of Ergo. And also, I mean, we just need to reach a point of where Ergo is used and utilized in things other than just holding on to it. You know, if it's actually used in dApps, if there's utility attached to it, that's when it'll become more stable, because it will make more sense to hold on to it and use it within the ecosystem and not actually trade it for other assets that are not Ergo. So that's just my thoughts on this. What do you think about that, Alex?
All right. So I think in the first place, time is needed, right? So something new could not be stable, right? Pretty much by definition. We need for more time, and then with time, development is also needed in regards with everything, right? So you are talking about developing of liquidity, getting more exchanges, getting more miners on board, right? Then it's about more diverse ecosystem. And then stability appears, right, as a result of balances between different parties. At the same time, we need for more developers, right? So then instead of just some individual decisions, we will have consensus, right, in regards with protocol development and corresponding research, and also development of critical components of the ecosystem. We need I think for more actors, and then for more time. And it's maybe so you can get more actors, right, in some artificial way in short time span, but then it wouldn't be so good, right? So you need for a really diverse ecosystem, right? So which also been arising naturally, like in case of Bitcoin. Those are my thoughts about that.
Yeah, and so I mean, I definitely agree with you on that. And so we could just follow up with another question, which is, what makes or will make Ergo more valuable or less valuable? And so again, how is value perceived? Value is perceived with utility, and value is perceived through speculation. How is it perceived through speculation? Well, no, that's pretty much all of crypto. 95% of all crypto, the entire crypto market is speculative. What will make it more valuable, as if you're talking about price, more people want to buy it, it'll be worth more. Less people want to buy it, people start selling, it'll be worth less. I know it's kind of an obvious thing, but I mean, that's one way. Another way how we can build. So what I want to see happen with this ecosystem is sustained value. Now, how do you build that? Well, again, you build that through what we just spoke about, and that is through utility. If Ergo is utilized for its utility versus, so if we create scarcity, meaning if we create utility where Ergo, it's more valuable for people to hold and use Ergo and not to trade Ergo, then that will inherently build value for Ergo, and Ergo will be more scarce because just won't want to get rid of it because they can use it, and therefore the value would go up. So that's my thoughts on that. Well, what do you think, Alex?
So I think in the first place, it's about expectations, right? But if emission is going down with time, and more ERCs to be locked in DeFi, right? So projects on top of Ergo. Right. So if ERCs been locked as collateral in stablecoin protocols and liquidity pools on Ergo DEX, and so on, then then it's very natural to expect value to be going up, right? And also, I think with time, if those trends are realizing, especially right, but in case of Bitcoin, even without the DeFi around, actually, with DeFi on other chains, right? In case of Bitcoin, so yeah, actually, there is some DeFi market around Bitcoin, and pretty big actually. All right, so with time also, the value is going up because there is some history, there is stability, right? So there are also some coins been forgotten or lost, right? Even if we have storage rent in the Ergo protocol, so there are miners which are not selling all the coins being mined. So there is some value going up just because you have some solid history, right? And also, after all, cryptocurrency is money. Then money is a self-fulfilling idea. Right, so with time, so an idea is just fulfilling itself. What was the question? So are we expecting value going up or what?
Well, the question was, it makes or will make Ergo more valuable or less valuable?
All right, then I think it's covered.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to the next question here. So so here's one, and this is something that I've actually been asked quite a bit about, is the Ergo Mixer. And so here's a question: EU just agreed to ban, quote unquote, private wallets. Is Ergo Mixer the solution? It's a solution. Now the question here is that, what does banning private wallets really mean? I mean, how do you ban that? I just don't understand how they could enforce something like this. I mean, okay, so what? You can't download? I mean, I just don't see how you can enforce that. You could use Ergo Mixer to, I guess, if you're talking about being able to interact through a private wallet using the Ergo Mixer. I mean, I guess you could do that, but again, Ergo Mixer is really not about that. It doesn't matter if the wallet is public or private. And I guess maybe that's what you mean, is the Ergo Mixer a solution if you don't have a private wallet? It could be, because essentially what it does is it exchanges, does the whole exchange of crypto, where you can you have confirmation of the original of the necessary funds. However, you don't have visibility into the origin of the funds. But again, for me, that goes back to, how do you regulate banning a private wallet? I just don't think it's quite possible to do that. And what are your thoughts on that, Alex?
It's hard to imagine how can you do such things in practice. So it's better to wait for details.
Absolutely. I mean, like I said, I can't understand how you would do that. I can think of ways that they can try. by, I don't know, not allowing them in regional stores, or if you go to Google Drive, or if you go to Chrome extensions or whatever, not allowing them in local downloads. But there's ways of getting around that. I mean, VPNs. It's just the logistics of something like this. Unless there's something that I just don't understand, and it's been designed by some brilliant minds that are much smarter than me, which is possible, that can have a completely straightforward way of how to ban a private crypto wallet. I just don't see that being being effective. I mean, it kind of reminds me of that whole thing where that happened in Canada, where all these police guys took a photo with a Ledger wallet, and it's kind of like, well, do you understand how a crypto wallet works and why you look ridiculous? So yeah, just my thought about it. So yeah, we're just gonna have to see what exactly they mean by banning privacy wallets. How do they enforce that? How do you do that? So let's go to the next question, and this is from somebody named Joseph Firmino. I'm not sure who this is, but let's give him a try. Alex, what types of chain registers and off-chain logic do you think will revolutionize extended UTXO?
So what type of chain? Sorry, what?
Okay, so what types of on-chain registers and off-chain logic do you think will revolutionize extended UTXO?
I guess yeah. I don't fully get. Is it about tooling or applications? So in regards with tooling, I think it's just better to have more of it, right? And then it's just a natural open source evolution, right? So if there is some open tool, and if it's not convenient for applications to be developed, then the developers will improve it. We already had a few iterations, actually, starting with some Python scripts back in 2019 made for first applications, actually very simple ones. Then UpKit, Ergo tool, then a few Rust frameworks made by Robert Kornatsky. Then Scanner, now this tool by ErgoPath guys, and so on. So yeah, I mean they all about pretty much the same thing, right? So how to track things on chain, and then do some actions off chain. So what's good in the UTXO model? UTXO model for Ergo, that's the separation is very clear here, right? And also checks you are doing on chain also very clear, means it's also quite clear what are the trust assumptions behind your application, right? So in case of Solidity contracts, for example, it's usually a very tricky thing to reason about. All right, and in regards with applications, so I think there could be some unique ones, right, utilizing UTXO, but still, need to think about this. So yeah, I will share some thoughts hopefully soon, when I will be able to find some time for that.
Great. So another question has been coming up quite a bit, and this is I mean, I like to address this. Is if Europe and maybe even other regions are banning proof of work for good reasons, uh, is there a plan B, or is the network dead at that point? I actually point to proof of space and time. Um, so again, how do you ban proof of work? How do you do it? Um, I mean, okay, so short of hacking into people's computers and seeing what they're running on it, which I don't think they're going to go that far. What do? You do limit power consumption? Well, I mean, that's already being done. Number one. Number two, there are ways around that. Again, basically just creating a more power efficient mining rig. Um, and yeah, it's I think that this entire talk about banning proof of work, yeah, I just don't see that going through. It just the logistics of something like this. It would be just a feeble attempt because okay, so you're not going to be able to kill a $1 trillion ecosystem. And you just can't. Europe can't do it. If Europe does it, then mining will go somewhere else. There's always going to be jurisdictions out. There's always going to be regions out there that are going to be looking to grab the business. And also, again, Europe. I mean, I don't know if the person that's asking this actually lives in Europe or not, or is familiar with how Europe runs. Even in the EU, there are fights. There are countries that don't get along. There's countries that have different types of statuses in the EU. In the financial unit, in the financial union, the political union. I mean, it's going to be difficult to get consensus on something where it just straight out across the board bans a consensus protocol. So number one, I don't think it's feasible. I personally don't think it's feasible. Number two, so what is plan B? Well, to me, plan B would be, if it were to happen, plan B would be to find other jurisdictions that are favorable to proof of work mining, or finding other ways to get proof of work mining done in other jurisdictions, and to create means that are just more efficient. Like, for example, what Ergo is about, where you can basically mine on repurposed hardware. And so either way, I just don't see any kind of legislation like that, unless literally it's going to be Big Brother time, where they're going to come down, they're going to start looking through your computer, and they're going to start arresting people for doing stuff like this. I just don't see how this can be enforced. I don't see how this could be successful. I just think if something like this happens, which I don't think it will be a feeble attempt, and it will ultimately fail. Well, what are your thoughts, Alex?
Yeah, so I think most of mining is already not in Europe, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's also true.
Yeah, so we have some miners from Bulgaria. So it seems GPU mining is pretty popular there, but yeah, it's still not very, very big market, right? And so yeah, for other countries, so I don't really know about what happened in China, but for other jurisdictions which shut mining facilities down for some time, like Abkhazia, Kazakhstan, Iran. So they did that just when they got into problems with the grid, right? Because of high load for the grid during peak seasons, for example. So yeah, but after usually, limits were relaxed. And so, yeah, I mean, in any case, well, if mining been shut down, well, in some jurisdictions. So usually there are countries, well, ready to accept hardware rights. And well, always there are places with excessive electricity generation, and yeah, still having problems about selling it to neighbors, right? So, well, building more industries to utilize well, excessive generation. So yeah, I don't think, well, globally, well, it could be a problem.
Yeah, yeah. I agree with you on that. Let's see. So another so a really good question here.
Pretty much like Cardano's, I guess. So yeah. Well, still we are evaluating implementation for Ergo would be pretty much like Cardano's.
Yeah. Well, and that's actually a very good vertical for us to work on with Cardano and with input output. And I hope that we will pursue that further. I think it's a low hanging fruit for us. And so, yeah, we will have more information for you about that in the weeks to come. And yeah, and so I think this is a good place for us to wrap up for today. So I would like to thank you very much for joining. Again, it's really great to be back and be able to speak with the community live. I really love doing AMAs for this community because I really get a chance to, to kind of do my report because that's and I had a few questions about the purpose of AMAs, and the purpose of an AMA is really a report to the community. This is my report to the community, and this is our report to the community about what we're doing because we're here for you. We're here for the community. I'm here for the community, and this is my report, my weekly report to the boss, to you, about what I'm doing and where I am as far as the job that I've been purposed with. So, like I said, it's very good to be here once and to be able to do this live. I will be back, of course, next week, and I will have more updates for you then. And so, once again, here's Leo. He's gonna. God, this cat is really, really heavy. Yeah, he's about 9 kilo. This cat, just in case you're wondering. Okay, this is a 9 kilo cat. He was not this fat. I don't know what happened. Anyway, all right, guys. Well, you have a good day or night or morning. Oh, okay, Leo wants to go. Okay, go, bye.
Yeah. So some final words for me. So yeah, it's my pleasure to be back. And yeah, next AMA I also will be online, I guess. And yeah, let's also have another community chat over the Telegram. So yeah, we will announce details a bit later. All right. Have a
awesome.
Good time. Yeah. Bye.
Have a good time, everybody. Have a good day.